friends. We are back here on Paige the Puppet, and I have a special guest today. This is Floral.
Know what you want and never give up.
Don't try to pour from an empty cup. Champagne marketing on a beer budget.
It's business advice from Paige the Puppet.
Floral, can you introduce yourself to my fans?
I'm Floral, and from under a rock. And I'm trying to understand about politics and entertainment and kind of catch up on a bunch of different stuff that I missed over the years. And that pretty much sums it up.
How many years were you under a rock for?
Truthfully, I really don't know. I
Oh,
lost kind of track of time. I know that one of the last things I saw was the sun, and then it just kind of went dark. There was me and Treasure, and that was it.
ooh. Okay, so you don't know how long you were under there. When it comes to politics, what's the most interesting thing to you that you have observed so far?
Interesting thing that I've observed. Honestly, most of it is how people react and how they really just try to understand how people think, why they choose the sides they do, and what information do they choose to ignore, what information do they choose to accept, and just kind of go from there. I have the sides that I come down on, but part of it is just watching the dialogue and learning from people. And so sometimes I kind of come across as argumentative, even though I'm more trying to understand. Sometimes people think that others are being combative when really they're actually just trying to understand. They just don't know how to ask the right questions, or sometimes they are pretty cemented, but they're willing to learn. It just doesn't seem that way, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure that I do, because most of the people that I have met so far, and admittedly, it's a small group of people, but they all seem to be working for a better world and a better place. And so I haven't really seen a whole lot of arguments. Some in the anti-MLM and that sort of thing, they have their sides. But most of all, it seems that people are searching for a common purpose. Have you found that to be true?
I think that's a stated ideal. I don't think that the actual ideal in and of itself is where you find the common ground. And so you find a lot of people just arguing and bickering about their preferred ideal as opposed to the actual common goal. I think that when it comes to most of the political discourse, you have people that, again, they have their own ideals, and so they're going to fight for their ideals, and they just want to have people come to their side instead of actually try to learn and understand and do what they need to do. I think in general, again, there's a general ideal, general agreement that we have ideals. It's just those ideals are what's different and how it actually plays out. We all want a better world, but how do you get to that better world? And so we all know the end game. It's how do we get there?
So if I'm correct in my understanding, you're seeing more people that are taking sides rather than working towards a common good.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably pretty true.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective for sure. And do you find that people are open to having these discussions, or are you finding it difficult to find people that are willing to take a stand?
I don't think it's hard to find people willing to take a stand. I think that it's hard to find people that are willing to have the discourse. If you see the people that are most willing to have conversations, those people are usually castigated as alt something, whether it's right or left. And it just kind of boils down to you're a hyper this or a alt that, or other defamatory terms.
Yeah. And how do you deal with the people that are not using the nice language?
Well, you try to ignore them. It's not always easy. But for the most part, as soon as someone goes into being super aggressive and attacking you personally, as opposed to your idea, that's when you just gotta walk away. It's tempting to fight back and to go after them, but it just means that they're not a serious person. And so I think they, how to word that? Yeah, I think it's best to say they're not a serious person. They're not willing to actually dialogue and discourse. They just want to throw rocks and shade at other people instead of honestly evaluating themselves and the ideas on their merits.
Speaking of rocks, that's what you were under. It was it
Mhm.
somebody throwing rocks that helped uncover you?
Nope. It was a couple hikers and well, one guy in specific, and he looked down as he stubbed his toe, and there it is. He saw my eye just right there, poking up, and he kind of freaked out, ran away for a couple days, came back with a friend with a gun, and wanted to. I don't know. I thought they wanted to do something to me, and anyway, they wound up just flipping the rock, seeing the treasure, running away, starting a business. So,
Oh, they started a business?
yeah,
Oh,
PayPal or something. I don't know.
oh, wow, wow. I thought he came from Saskatchewan, not Ontario, but whatever.
It was a
Um,
long time before between getting out of the rock and kind of coming to this place that I am now.
yeah. You haven't been on their YouTube very long. As far as being Floral under the rock, your story has just begun,
Mhm.
and you've had some interesting guests, including me so far.
Yeah.
Who do you hope to reach with your channel?
Just anyone with an inquisitive mind, really. Anyone that wants to have fun. I'm actually trying to not be solely political, as much as it's entertaining for me. I want to have fun on there too. So just anyone that likes to have see puppets doing funny things, silly things. I'm working with a couple other guys doing some funny videos right now, or hopefully funny. But yeah, I got my story time video too. So just kind of reaching that junior high audience as well, as it's kind of one of those things where you're looking at those classic kid stories and about something, but it always subverts your expectations.
Oh, so you are really about subverting expectations. That's really kind of cool because I know that when I was reading Jim Henson's book, that's part of what he was about.
Mhm.
Yeah, you are so interesting, and I'm really enjoying some of the content on your channel so far. Some of it is above my head. I just have to admit that it's just way above my levels of thinking. But I really think it's interesting the way that you are wanting to talk to people and learn about them and understand them. But I wonder, do you really think that people are understandable?
Uh, yes and no. I think it depends if you want to be. Obviously, there's always going to be nuance in a person's life. You have to ask yourself, what's their story? Why are they acting the way they are? Um, but I think for the most part, people are fairly understandable when you understand human nature and how people are. That self-interest usually governs their decision making. I don't think that most people want to see other people's um, thrive. They would rather see themselves thrive, but they're willing to take other people along with them. Um, Under most circumstances, there obviously are exceptions. It's not everyone, but by and large, most people want to succeed. So you see arguments like minimum wage increase as opposed to eliminating money. Um, and so the ideal is that everyone would have a living wage instead of actual, but most of those people aren't willing to take a pay cut themselves to make sure that those who have less have more. So it's always very self-interested. And I mean, and that's on both sides of the aisle. It's not just on one side. That's just an easy target. But yeah.
Okay. One thing I know that I don't agree with, I don't think that there's just two sides. I think that there are more than two sides, and we try to break it into two sides, and that's what makes things difficult. But that's just my
Yep.
opinion. Just a little pink puppet with an opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that is. I just wanted to introduce my audience to you because I think it's very important for puppets to support each other. And
Nice.
I will say that as a puppet, I do hope that you are successful because the more of us that can come together and have these conversations, we have to have difficult conversations in order to progress. This is my ideal, I think, and I'd like to introduce those people to you. So I will put your information in the screen so that people can come follow you. And I just want to ask before we sign off for today, is there anything that you want to get out there that I haven't asked you about today?
Not really. I mean, just try to have fun with my channel and get an understanding of different people, their thoughts, opinions. Today, I'm going to be talking to a guy named Mike, or if you see him online, he's called Mexican Iron Man. He's from down in the States. He loves entertainment. And so we're going to be talking about that and potentially a little bit about how to grow your YouTube channel. So that'll be kind of fun. And so obviously very practical for me, but hopefully practical for anyone else that's interested.
Oh yes, YouTube is very much one thing that I would like to learn more about, getting more audience. I mean, I love my audience. Don't get me wrong, audience, I love
Yep.
you. But yeah, it would be nice to have more people out there and get that growing. So that's really cool, and I will watch that with Mike. I'm glad his name is not Dave. Uh, I- yeah, we have an issue with Dave's. But
So
that's
do I actually.
yeah, you too. You've noticed this too. Oh
Yep.
my goodness, it's a very big thing. I'm thinking. Anyways, yeah. So thank you so much, Floral, from Under a Rock, for
Not a
visiting with
problem.
me today. And I'm so excited to see your channel grow. You have an excellent rest of the day. Have fun in Ontario. That's 1, 2, 3, 3 provinces.
Yeah, I like to call it Terrible.
On terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, we will
More
have
fun that way.
Toronto. It's not the worst place in the world. Mama was born there.
Yeah,
Many,
this is- they think they're the center of the universe here, though. So it's yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyways, I say bye for now, and you have an awesome rest of the day.
Awesome. Thank you. You have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
And there you have it. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to click on the like button and be sure to comment below with your favorite part of this episode. Those comments really help my channel grow. Speaking of helping my channel to grow, if you are not already subscribed, please click on the subscribe button along with the bell so that you can be notified every time I go live. You can catch me on all the socials at Paige the Puppet, but if you really want to make the most out of your creative, independent small business, I invite you to subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in the description below. Until next time, have an amazing rest of the week. Bye for now, friends. Bye.
Know what you want and never give up.
Don't try to pour from an empty cup. Champagne marketing on a beer budget.
It's